Hey there guys, today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the Elder Scrolls Online. So this video I'm mainly going to be going over a bunch of smaller features of the games, so less broad topics like just PvP or guilds or anything like that. So to start, there's cooldowns, and there are no cooldowns in this game. And what that means is you can come up and you can cast all your spells right away, repeatedly, until you run out of your mana and your stamina. So this seems like it's really cool because you're like, yeah, I mean, you can just run in there and kill everyone really quickly, and it's just going to be everyone spamming keys. But I mean, you're going to actually have to really manage your stamina and your magicka. If it's going to be a longer fight, trying to maintain, but if it's going to be a shorter fight, you can just go kill that guy really quickly. And this seems pretty cool because it's just another way that ZeniMax is adding more strategic parts to the combat. The next thing I'm going to be going over is the lack of UI. It's just going to be like in Skyrim where you have your health, stamina, and magicka at the bottom of your screen, and you're also going to have a compass on the top, which we all know really helps because when you're out there you can never really find a way around unless you know the map really well. So I'm glad that they're bringing that back. So I know I talked a little bit about there only being 6 hotkeys before, but I'm going to go a little bit more into detail about that right now. So the first 2 hotkeys are weapon based. So if you have a two-handed axe, they're going to be more like smash attacks, stuff like that, that's specific to your weapon, and less of just a class roll. The next thing is you're going to have 1 hotkey, not including out of those 6, which is going to be for a consumable, whether it's a mana potion, health potion, strength potion, whatever else they might put into the game. You can just put anything like that in there, and you can just use that in combat. It's because, well, there's definitely not going to be stopping like in Skyrim where you stop, you eat all your cabbage, and just, how much food can I eat in 5 minutes? Just try and live through this fight here. So there's not going to be any of that, but I mean, at least they're giving us a hotkey for easy access. So your next 3 hotkeys are just going to be class-based, whether that's fireballs, healing spells, whatever it might be. Your last one, as I've said before, is your ultimate. This is going to be class-based, and it's going to be, just like the other ones, very customizable. You're going to get to do a lot with that. So now I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the combat, and this is that you're going to be able to really build off other people's abilities. So let's say someone can spray some oil on the ground and the other person lights it on fire, kind of stuff like that. They have mentioned that this is going to be a big thing for dungeons where you have more than one mob. Let's say the skeleton archer is not going to walk up to you and try and shoot you from 2 feet away like in Skyrim, but instead he's going to stay back and let that Draugr run up in front of you and start hitting you and trying to push you down. This is also probably going to be a big part of boss fights, seeing how they can add a lot to it and make it a lot more difficult with this. This is also going to be a big thing for PvP, getting big chain things, doing lots of damage together, more strategic gameplay as opposed to soloing like a single person or all just chucking all your stuff down at once on one person. It's going to be planning it out maybe a little bit better, getting more comfortable with a group of people so that you guys are coordinated and you know what you're doing. And that way you'll be able to deal a lot more damage and be a lot more effective in your team fights. So another thing is that there's going to be mounts in this game. We've seen a few of them in the backgrounds of some of the Elder Scrolls Online videos, the introduction to the Elder Scrolls Online, and just people talking about them a little bit, but they're definitely going to be a part of the game. They have mentioned pets and potentially pets with skill trees themselves, so that'd be pretty cool. And the next thing is a little bit more quest-driven. It's that each faction is going to have its own separate quest line. Whether this means that the guilds, like the Fighters Guild of the Companions, say the Ebonheart Pact, would have the Companion quest line, whereas the Eldamir Dominion would have the Fighters Guild. I don't know how that's going to work. That's probably something that they're going to do. But the main quest lines are going to be different for each one. So it might be a good idea if you're a big fan of PvE to make 3 separate characters just so you can try all the stories. Speaking of which, there are going to be guilds in this game, and what I mean by that is the Mages Guild, Fighters Guild, Dark Brotherhood, or Thieves Guild. They have said that there's going to be these 4. I don't know if there's going to be anything else. That's all they've mentioned so far. We know that the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild are going to be there after launch, and by Fighters Guild I do mean Companions too. The Dark Brotherhood is definitely going to be after launch, but the Thieves Guild might be there before or after. They're not too sure right now. I have heard reports for either side. So the next thing was a really big thing in Skyrim, and that was crafting, and that's definitely going to be in the game. They've said that there's going to be resources everywhere, so I feel like it's going to be the kind of game where you really have to take your time and go through and collect everything. That way you can level up and be more efficient with your character as you go. They're going to probably have enchanting and smithing. I don't know whether you're going to be able to make all your own armor, like in Skyrim, where you could just spam up your skill and get Daedric at level 10. I don't know how that's going to work, but, there is going to be crafting in the game, and they have announced that. Just like in Skyrim and other previous Elder Scrolls games, you can add to your stats when you level. What I mean by this is that you can add to your health, stamina, or magicka. They have said that they're not going to have agility, strength, intelligence. You're not going to be able to have the same thing that you had in Oblivion. It's going to be different this time. Although you'll still probably have skill trees like in Skyrim where you can level up your different skills, pick things for your classes. Maybe more like the vampire spec, which if you've played Dawnguard, you know what I'm talking about. Only that would be a class spec like Templar or Dragon Knight, where you pick the abilities as you go out, and then there's a separate tree for each of the abilities that you pick. So one cool thing that they said is that gear and weapons level up. This could just be related back to crafting, like making the better, whether they're, I can't remember what they're called, like you can get epic, stuff like that, certain titles in front of your weapons that you make. It could just be that, but they've also, they've said leveling up, so I'm assuming that means that your gear actually levels up. So this might just be certain level 50 high-end gear, or I don't know, but it's probably just going to be reserved for the higher levels, so you're not just ditching that weapon like as soon as you find something better. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is housing. This is just pretty brief. It's just that they are going to have housing after launch. I'm not sure how this is going to work if we're all going into the same building. I mean, Breeze Home might get pretty packed, but you never know. They might have something pretty cool set up. So now I'm going to be talking about the targeting system. Some people have said that they really don't want to have like a just tab until you get to the person, or have to always click on people just to pick who they are. What they have set up is pretty neat. It's there's soft targets and there's hard targets. So soft target is basically you just put your crosshair over the person and you'll target them, and you don't have to aim your attacks, more like in Skyrim and Oblivion. You just hit away and your character will naturally turn towards them and use your attacks on them. That's going to make archery and magic a lot easier. So, and then there's hard targeting, and this is more like you just select one target and then you attack them. I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to soft target also and then fight people and try and just keep in mind where that hard target is, which should be pretty useful if maybe you're doing a PvP fight where the Emperor was there too, because they're going to be really overpowered and you might not want to go into a direct encounter while you're by yourself. But I think it's going to be really cool because maybe you're also going to want to be running in there and you want to keep in mind there's your friend from the other enemy pact, so you're just going to run over there. And you're going to want to keep in mind when he gets close so that you can go over there and you can take him out. Or you can just do what we were talking about earlier with the cooldowns. Run in, use all your cooldowns right away. Or, sorry, don't use all your cooldowns. Use all your spells until you run out of stamina and magicka. And then just get out of there, use some potions, you're good. Come back and enjoy the rest of your fight. And gloat about it a little bit later. So one of the last things I have to talk about today is that there is going to be spells from common schools in the other games. They weren't too clear about this. They basically just said that there's going to be a lot of common groupings, although it's not going to be like you level up your conjuration per se, so that you only use conjuration spells. It's just going to be that they're going to have common spells from these things. They might be labeled from these different parts, but I feel like they're also going to have a lot more spells that are just cool, big action spells, abilities, stuff like that. That's not just specific to one tree. So the last thing I'm going to be mentioning today, that's the Drow. It's basically just a giant insect creature. The reason I'm mentioning this is just because they do have a video on it and they have actually quite a bit of information on it. Basically, we've seen it in videos as just, a common mob you can fight, but also we've seen it in boss fights, in the Introduction to an Elder Scrolls Online video. There's actually lots of fan art about it. If you go on the Elder Scrolls Online official page, you'll find there's concept art of it there, which is kind of cool that they're really emphasizing on one thing, but I hope that that's not going to become the Falmer, because I remember that all the Falmer caves from Skyrim were really bummy, you didn't want to go there, it was just boring, it got bleak after a while. But I hope that they really do something fun with this. It's just one of the many creatures that they're going to be adding in, and they have said quite a bit about it so far. So anyways guys, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment if you have any questions. I'm going to be doing some more videos on this, just, as more information comes out, so it might be another week or two before you hear some more stuff. I am going to be posting another video pretty soon. I'm going to try and do some Dead Space 3 when that comes out, some other games like that. I'll be posting another video about that soon, or if I haven't already, just talking a little bit more about some new games that are coming out in 2013. So before you guys go, I do have one question for you, and that's about the housing. So I'm just wondering how interested you guys are in this. Were you one of the guys from Skyrim who had like all the plaques filled with weapons on the walls, just like piles of sweet rolls in the cupboards, stuff like that? If you'd like to see, being able to make your own house, maybe they have something like they do in, I don't even know what games they'd have this in, but maybe you can like make a house and design it, but it's not just there, maybe you have to go through a portal and then it's right there. Or maybe it's just going to be everyone sharing a house. I don't know how this is going to work, but maybe you guys could just do some speculations below in the comments. I'd be interested to see what you guys have to say. And I'll be sure to keep looking up this kind of stuff so that you guys can get some more information on it if you are interested. But thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day.